Okay. The definition of marriage has been a legal union between a man and a woman. In 2006, Massachusetts was the very first state to legalize same-sex marriage. In the years to follow, a couple states have followed in making same-sex marriage legal. In 2008, for a while, it was legal here, but then Proposition 8 changed all that. This brings me to my claim. The inability to marry harms homosexual couples. I will prove this by saying 3 topics. 1. Without marriage, the basic rights and freedoms are not given to homosexual couples. 2. Civil unions are not a good alternative to marriage for homosexual couples. And 3. Without marriage, same-sex couples can't have trouble forming a family. Okay. Topic 1. Without marriage, the basic rights and freedoms are taken away from homosexuals. They are denied some of the most important rights, such as health insurance for partners, tax benefits, and public assistance, and in certain parts there is a ban on adoption. If their partner is ill and in the hospital, they can't make medical decisions for them. So if they need consent, like on a major operation, and they can't give consent themselves, the partner is not allowed to do it. They have to contact family members or get some kind of other consent. There have been cases where the person does not have family members who can consent for them right away, and that person has to go through a lot of things because the partner can't tell them that the medical thing needs to be done. According to the General Accounting Office, there is no guaranteed joint responsibility to the partner and to the third parties, including children, in such areas as child support, debts to creditors, taxes, and in addition, private employers and institutions often give their economic privileges and benefits only to married couples. And of course, if people cannot marry, they are denied the emotional, social benefits, and responsibilities of marriage as well. Which brings me to my next topic. Civil unions are not a good alternative for marriage for homosexual couples. Though in a civil union you do get some rights, as the rights to health benefits, it is not the same as being legally married. Same-sex couples who are under union are just treated as 2 unmarried adults cohabitating in the same place. The federal law does not recognize civil unions for homosexual couples. They get a lot of the federal government does not give them a lot of rights that usually married couples get or civil union heterosexuals get. According to NORMA Love, the Legal Protections Program, couples who are united under the new law won't receive the same rights or enjoy the same benefits as heterosexual couples enjoy under the federal law. Also, heterosexual couples cannot file for joint tax income receipts, which means they can't put their taxes together and they can't do it like a normal married couple does. Brings me to my last topic, which is without marriage, same-sex couples have trouble forming a family. In same-sex relationships, children are seen as having only one legal guardian. Even if the other partner has been living with them and been raising the child, they can do not see her as a parent, him or her as a parent. Adoption is looked down upon due to the fact that the couple is unmarried and homosexual. The inability to, this makes the inability to marry, the inability to adopt causes one of the partners not to be able to have custody over the child in the event that the other partner dies, which means the child is then given to the family who decides what happens to the child, or if there is no family they can say, then the child goes to foster care. Okay. And the thing is, it says that homosexuals are unfit parents, but studies have shown through psychologists throughout California that some children, even with homosexual parents, are just as well adjusted and just as sure of themselves as children with heterosexual parents. Now that you've heard my topics, I hope that you understand why the inability to marry harms homosexual couples. Thank you.
All right, well, the proposition's clearly identified, and you lay out the supporting points well. I think you did a good job signposting those points as you got to them as well. I do think that there's some assumptions in the topic that need to be developed a little bit more. For instance, the issue of what rights are versus privileges and benefits. At one point, you talk about there being denied basic rights like public assistance or being given some kind of tax benefit. But the demonstration that that's a basic right, I think, is a little skimpy there. And later on, when you talk about how private companies might deny benefits and privileges, again, I'm not sure why that those are essential rights. It seems to me that those would be things that would be negotiated per contract and not necessarily something that is a constitutional protection or even a basic human right. So you need to develop an argument on that that's more substantial, although I think you're getting a little bit into the value claims on that particular point. The claim about medical benefits, for instance, or the ability to make medical decisions, all you have are hypotheticals illustrating that. You don't have any particular examples. There's no expert testimony that says that this is the case. The discussion that there are, for instance, civil unions would not protect those rights or that there aren't alternative ways of addressing those issues, none of that is discussed. On the issue of adoption, there seems to be a presupposition that homosexuals are discouraged from adoption, but you don't show any cases where that's true. You don't show what the state laws are about this. You don't show that people are denied access to adopting children because of their homosexuality. And you say that, for instance, that the other parent could not take on responsibility for the child. Is that, what's the legal status on that? If there's a will or a trust in place that identifies that person as the guardian, why is it that they cannot take on that responsibility? Is it only somebody who is genetically related to the child that allows them to take on that responsibility? Is that only in cases of adoption? I think there's just a lot of information here that is being assumed and hasn't been demonstrated to be true. The presentation's relatively clear. And like I said, you just need a lot more information and evidence to support those points.